We want to welcome you guys to the FISHFAM all girls live stream tonight. We've got Jennifer with us, and we've got Dee that stepped out, but she'll be coming in. We have a couple that will be coming in late, and I'm going to close my OBS so that Jennifer can introduce herself to those that may not know her.
Hi everyone. So I'm often found on the live stream chats. I keep freshwater planted aquariums with tropicals and Lake Tanganyika, and I'm about to embark on keeping freshwater shrimp. So I'm pretty excited about that. Got some tanks set up, just waiting for the shrimp to arrive.
That's awful exciting. I don't know about the Lake Tanganyika. You and Bob both have those type of setups and fish, and they are very colorful fish. Do they come from a tannin environment?
No, Lake Tanganyika is a hard water lake, African lake. So it's actually a pretty clear lake, and it's one of the larger of the African lake systems. But they have some really interesting behavior. So the shell dwellers, which I have 2 species of, you know, they have a very interesting biotope that they live in, because they actually raise their young and hide in discarded snail shells to protect themselves. So they're really cool.
Oh, is that the little shell dwellers then?
Yes.
Oh. Those are interesting fish. I think Rachel has them as well.
Yes, she has the multifasciatus, and so do I. And then I also have a pearl ocellatus, which is at least 2 times bigger than the multis. So they're considerably larger of the shell-dwelling species. And they come from a more open sand bed, so they don't have as many shells. So their behavior is like completely different.
Do they burrow in the sand any?
Oh yeah, they dig holes and cover their shells, and you know, just so the little opening of the shells there, and they're really quite entertaining, and they're always having little attitudes. They're, you know, they say they have the biggest attitude in the littlest package.
Are they the ones that can sometimes blow sand at each other and kind of like?
Oh yeah, and if a snail gets in their little territory, they'll pick it up and they'll swim to somebody else's territory and drop it in there. So it's often like, and then like there'll be like 2 males setting up camp next to each other, and they'll spit the sand in each other's space while they're digging their pit. They're just hilarious. So
do they require a heater, correct?
They need to be kept 76 or up. Some, you know, 74 is okay, but they definitely are between that, like 74 and 80 degrees is their target zone. More than anything, I know a lot of people keep them in super hard water, and they want to keep them really close to that almost reef lake environment. But I actually got mine from breeders in Seattle that kept them at their really soft TDS. And so most of mine have just recently moved to hard water when I moved down to Vegas. So I honestly think it's, you know, steady parameters over like specific parameters.
Yeah, keeping it stable.
But yeah, I'm just,
they are adaptable.
Stable. Yeah. But yeah, like my live stream today I did this morning, I was talking about like I'm just starting to put heaters in the tanks, because the ambient temperature is dropping below 70, so then the tanks are starting to cool down.
Yeah, so if y'all haven't seen Jennifer's live stream video, she did post it after she went live this morning. So make sure that you check out Jennifer's channel and go to her live stream video today, because she was talking about how to prepare for the winter in warm weather areas. So,
and I mean, I think the information definitely works no matter where you are. It's just, you know, we kind of talked, you know, Nisi being in Alaska where it's like 9 degrees was the high today. you know, she she has a little different preparation, but it's very similar. You know, it's just, you know, we all have to be prepared to heat our tanks and be ready for what our fish need.
That's right. Well, thank you, Jennifer. I'd like to also welcome to the panel tonight Dee from Down the Wormhole. How are you doing tonight, dear?
I'm doing good. Can you guys hear me? I'm not too sure if I'm getting feedback or not because my iPad's playing the sound back on me. You'll have to let me know what's going on.
Make sure that any video that you're watching is muted.
I can't seem to get my iPad to mute. It's just going down to a very low setting. I can barely hear it, but I can hear it. Can you guys hear it? Are you getting feedback? Or
We don't hear the feedback, and we hear you and see you fine.
awesome. Yay, good to know.
Well, I hope that you are getting a break from the medicating that you're going through, or are you still in that process?
We've actually decided to basically call them all. We weren't getting results at all. It looked like it was getting worse. So rather than let them just suffer, we decided to take them outside and put them in the snow. So we've gone down to 2 that don't look infected. We are still treating the tank just in case, but at least now the tank's not bouncing. We're having cycling issues because we moved into 20. So we're hoping we got it. We're getting the odd dead fish, so we're just gonna cross our fingers and see what happens now.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear about that, but I know what happens. I culled over 50 of them last July, and just to diminish the medication that I was spending on those that didn't look too well. But did you save a male and a female to perhaps breed them?
Yeah, we saved the one that looked pretty good was one of the crown tails, so we're hoping to continue on there. We've got one female that's looking pretty good. The poop's coming out pretty normal, and there are a number of the babies that are looking quite healthy, so we're hoping we've saved at least a few of them. That was a lot of work for him to put in.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and keep up those gravel vacs and your water changes. And if you have to change your filtration media later on, do it, you know, within 2 weeks of your gravel vac. Don't do it all at the same time.
They're in a bare bottom tank now. We just took the gravel and took it right outside. Didn't even want to play with it.
Yeah, got you. Well, I wish you the best with that, because I know part of the hobby is medicating sick fish, and sometimes things don't go easy, but with consistency, and sometimes it does require a start over. Jennifer, you have anything? Oh, I'm sorry, Dee, go right ahead.
Oh, sorry. It takes so long for it to show up. I just don't know if it's in the other tanks, and that's kind of what we're waiting on right now, is just to find out that. So.
Well, for precaution, they do say to treat the tank next to the one that's infected. With my 55-gallon, I have a 20-gallon that sits beside it, so I treated the 55-gallon and the 20-gallon together, and I still am showing parasites in my 20-gallon, which I'm going to have to do like you did. I have to do some culling, and then I'm going to treat the tank again with levomycil. And then when they start looking good, I'm either going to keep, like you did, a breeding trio or a breeding pair, and start over with that strain.
Yeah, this has been amazingly hard to get rid of. So time will tell. Like you say, wow, you're still dealing with it.
Right. Are your piranhas doing well?
So far, them or the little tiger teddies are not showing any sign, but like I said, we got these fish that we got it off of, we think, in the spring. So it took a good solid almost 4 months for it to really show up. So like I said, time's going to tell on this one.
Yeah, and it sometimes shows up under conditions of overcrowding. The immune systems of the fish get weak, and then if I think you had your guppies in a colony type situation, and I don't know if you had any overcrowding or not.
Yeah, we just moved them into the 55 and had a bit of a population explosion, and that's kind of what we figured probably triggered and really set it off on the downwards fall, is a bit of the cycling getting into the 55-gallon.
Did you have any problems adjusting their feeding regimen, going from a smaller tank to a larger tank?
I'm sure, yeah, because he is fairly new to the hobby, and I know he was overfeeding a little bit. So, yeah, there's definitely some spikeage and a lot of extra food in the gravel. So, like I said, there was a lot of good things that could have set that off, definitely. But I'm glad it came out when it did, because now we do know what is in there, and we are aware of the problem in the fish room. So,
Were you able to lower the water level any to decrease how much you were actually medicating?
well, we took them right out of the 55 gallon and we put them into I think it's a 15 gallon. So that, yeah, definitely to make it easier on the medication. And our local fish store was gifting us with this medication, but like I said, it really wasn't doing very much. So if it isn't any of the more expensive of the fish that are a lot harder to replace, then we'll consider bringing some stuff up from the States.
I know it's difficult in Canada to get the erythromycin and the levomycin. What was it? The farbendazole that you got?
It started with a P. Now I can't remember the name.
Yeah, the Prazi, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just didn't seem to do anything. Some of the fish that didn't have worms already hanging out of their butts seemed to be better, but we just kept the ones that we wanted to try with in the future, and we're going to go from there.
I know that's basically what you have to do sometimes. I'm going to go to the chat. If Jennifer has something she wants to bring, go ahead while I go to the chat.
I was actually just talking to Flynn here because he's looking at getting another group of cories to play with. And he lost his sturby cories to a pathogen, and and a lot of the sturbies are wild caught, so you don't always know what the conditions they're caught from. And so I was just recommending, if you really want to get into breeding cories, if you can find a local breeder or find at least a tank raised source, because they're less likely to come in with some sort of weird internal worm that you can't treat and that sort of thing. Obviously, if you followed my channel at all, I breed my cories quite often. Well, they breed and I raise up their fry. They don't really take a whole lot once they get going, as long as they're healthy and you feed them well.
Well, I wish him the best. I saw where Dwayne Kitchell said he said sorry, but the Pacers are playing. Good luck, ladies, hitting like and watching the game. All right, Dwayne. And mine's in the house. I didn't get to go down the chat to say hi to everyone, but Freshwater Fish Freak. He said, what is this? Some kind of matriarchal society. This is the all girls live stream that we do every once in a while. It's been several months now since we've done one. And we changed the hours that we actually live stream. If anybody's not familiar with the FISHFAM all ladies live streams, sometimes we'll do it in a morning. Sometimes I won't do it much later than 7, because the last time we did, that's when Bob popped in and he acted like he wanted to get in really bad to bust up the all ladies stream. And we all vowed, and I did a disclaimer live saying no more men will be allowed into the all ladies live streams, even if I'm the only one by myself. Can't break rules. But we have KP Aquariums and DH Aquatics, Okie Rogue, Freshwater, I said Fish Freaks, V-Stag. Dwayne was here. Flynn is here. Abby is here. Hello, Abby. And let me see what DH is doing. Yeah, Corey's, he's talking about Corey's. Kathy Gash is in the house. Hello, Kathy. Abby, did you want to join us tonight? I can send you the link. DPK is in the house. Down the wormhole, of course, we know is here. Candy Overhauls. Candy, did you want to join us in the live stream tonight? Mario Alvis is here. Oh, Petsotics for all your pets' needs are here. Hello, everyone. How's it going? And everybody's saying their hellos. And don't forget to show the Fish Fam love. Check out everybody's channel. And if you haven't subscribed to them, subscribe. And from time to time, watch their videos and click like and share if you like. And leave a comment. And that helps support us and encourage us and keep us going in this hobby. So our guest tonight is Jennifer. I got to go up and catch your last name. Is it Saraceno?
Yes, good job.
All right. And we got Dee down the wormhole. Priscilla said she'll be joining us later. Kayla couldn't be with us tonight, and we miss Kayla. And of course, Sheila, Life with Pets is streaming. So if y'all have to open up two browsers at the same time or two tabs on your browser at the same time, you know, support each other and pop over back and forth. I know she's got a guest. I think it's Big City Bettas with her tonight, and I'll just have to catch the rerun. Jennifer, did you want to talk about any of the things that you talked about on your live stream today? Or you want to just let them view that?
I just talked about. Oh, weird! I'm getting feedback.
Hello, Priscilla. Welcome.
Hi, ladies. How are you doing?
Doing good. So good to see you, sweetheart.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Well, you're welcome, and you know you're part of the original Frontier here, so you got to show up when you can.
Right, I'm trying.
Jennifer, did your feedback clear up?
I'm not sure. We'll have to, yeah. So now I don't hear myself. I don't know why it was coming out the phone too. So on my stream today, I was talking about how you can help save yourself some money by picking fish that work with your ambient temperatures, as well as how to know when to add heaters and not or chillers, depending on if you're keeping cold fish in a warm environment or warm fish in a cold environment. So one thing for me is, since I just moved to Las Vegas, is I keep my house pretty warm in the summer just to save on electricity, which means I don't have to heat my tanks in the summer. If I keep my house at 80 degrees, then my tanks naturally stay about 76. And so now it's just starting to, we'll call it cooling off, as it's now getting into the 70s. And I'm now the interior house temperature is dropping to about 75. It's about time to add a heater so that the temperature doesn't drop too severely and we don't get a huge fluctuation in the temperature on the tanks.
That's good.
And then I also talked a little bit about the types of heaters I like, because I was actually going through the aquarium support group before this started, and I saw someone just had a glass heater explode in their tank. So I've been there so many times that now I only use the titanium heaters. They seem to be a little bit less fragile and less likely to bust on you.
Well, I don't know what mine are made out of. I use the Tetra presets and some Aquions, and I've got one called by Hydor that actually, if the water level drops below the minimal, it will shut off.
Well, that's a nice feature, because a lot of times if the level drops, they just burn out, and then they'll ruin themselves, and then they'll get stuck on, and you end up boiling your tank.
And killing your fish.
So there's a lot of things that can go wrong with heaters, and so I advocate to replacing your heaters every couple years, just because it's better to spend $30 and replace your heater than it is to nuke your whole system or lose all your fish that you've put years into.
Yeah. Priscilla, go ahead and chime on in here tonight. Dee and Jennifer and I have been talking. Now it's your turn.
I was just inviting a bunch of people in the background quietly.
Thank you. I've
Yeah,
got,
I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I'm working on my art fish room. It's a little bright because I'm using a metal halide light,
I am so proud of you. That has really grown.
but getting there.
So what size tanks do you have now?
My biggest one's the 75 in the living room, and the smallest one's like a 5 gallon.
Did you say that one broke when in the move?
Yeah, we were renovating the house and we're replacing the windows. And my husband's job was to break out the windows, the old ones. And while he broke the window out, he hit the tank with the back of the hammer and it cracked. So that was kind of my favorite tank. It was a 36-gallon bow front community tank, and took me like almost half a year to cycle that tank because I dirted it and everything. So it was the tank I put the most effort in. But yeah, I replaced it with a 29-gallon.
Until it grows to a 350.
Right. I wish.
Are you on a solid foundation there or crawl space or what?
I'm not sure because it's second floor, and behind me I already like put like 150 gallons in one spot, like right next to each other. Like there's a rack holds tanks, and there's a 40 on top of a 75. So it's a lot of weight in one spot. Let's just hope the floor will hold it up.
Yeah, we'll hope and pray. I know if you would get next to a load bearing wall or an outside wall, it would be better on the support, but that much weight of on a second story is hard because I had 220s behind me, and actually they used to sit here to my other side. And then I started adding these 5 gallons and 10 gallons, and I'm like, wait a minute, these got to go downstairs.
Yeah, no, there is a low bearing wall below me, but still, it's a lot of weight in one spot. I calculated it. It was like 3,500 pounds.
Yes. Well, I wish you the best. And what kind of fish are you actually currently keeping?
Well, I have my community tank with the tetras and cherry barbs and just small stuff. Then I still have my Fahaka puffer. He's growing. It's like 5 inches now, and I got him when he was a fry. Then I have my pea puffers, my angelfish, and all the baby angelfish I had like half a year ago. Plus, I got some Congo tetras. What else did I get? And I just got some emerald corridors too. They're
Oh,
quarantining. So, and I hope I can get some shrimp soon, hopefully. But yeah, I have to set up the tanks.
that's exciting. Did you um, were you able to get anything for your angelfish fry?
Yeah, I actually went to 2 different local fish stores, and they both took like 20 each. One store didn't pay that well. They gave me like, what was it, like 180 for one, and the other store gave me like 250 for one,
That sounds
which
good.
isn't bad. I mean, I could sell them probably for more if I would ship them, but then I would have to go through the trouble of shipping them.
Yeah.
So people keep asking me what I'm gonna do with all my Cory fry, and I'm like, keep them.
How many do you have right now, Jennifer?
Well, I put one batch in, and there were 25 of them, and then I put another batch in that I didn't count, but there was at least 50. So there's at least 75 fry in the 75 now, plus the adults. And so, I mean, and that's not counting the ones that are still in the other tanks. So, I mean, at some point I might thin out the herd and take some to the local fish store, but It's like, but I raised these. They're not worth $1 a piece. They're worth more than that. So I always say, like, if you want to come over, I'll give you some, but I'm not going to ship them. That's too much work.
Well, I am fortunate where I'm at. My local fish store is a private-owned fish store. It's not the Petco PetSmart, and I can take fish in for store credit. But when he found out that I had peppered corridors and breeding them, he said, "Oh, I want some peppered Cory." I said, "Well, I'm not giving them to you." I said, "I'm going to sell them to you," and I sold a breeding trio for $15, and I also took in 10 peppered corridors, say like 6 months later, and I charged $2 a head for each one of them, which was still a big discount. And I still walked out with a $20 angel and 4 I thought were auto-sinkless because they were only a ½ an inch long. They ended up being 4 algae eaters without, exchanging money at all. So
yeah, I have a local fish store here. I just haven't talked to them yet. So I don't know if they're going to be one of the ones that's like, well, we'll take them, but we don't really want them. Or if they're one where you'll get store credit for the value they'd sell them for, and then you buy, regular price. Or one that's like, we'll give you 50 cents a head, and then you have to pay full price for everything in the store. So
yeah.
Until I've kind of scoped them out. I know I've met a few people that say that, like, they had like mollies, and they told them they didn't want them at all, but that store doesn't particularly have the common fish that you see at PetSmart, Petco. They tend to have the African cichlids and the fancy plecos, and so they have a little bit more variety than your
Most of the time they will give
top
you
20 fish.
30% of what they're worth retail.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to the chat and I'm going to ask them if they want to ask any of the ladies on the panel tonight any questions. We've got a lot of hellos going on, and from what I can see, Priscilla, don't we have Wrench Happy Haven going on here?
Yep, it's a mud wall.
I chat in the dark mode. So it looks very fluorescent to me. So if y'all have any questions to ask the panel tonight, go right ahead. Racing's Natural Aquarium says, yeah, means I can finally set up my 75 cichlid tank and my angel tank. So I guess he's got it. That's right. He got him another tank. More tanks. Freshwater Fish Freak says, what is the average wingspan velocity of a swallow? I think you're asking a bird question in a fish chat, so I have no idea. Fish Out of Water is one of my new subscribers. Hello, welcome to the stream tonight. If y'all don't know who this is, go over to their channel and subscribe to them. They've got a few videos out.
There's not much going on my channel.
Yeah.
I just put out a video today of my plecos because they decided to have a territorial dispute over one of the caves in the tank.
Oh, they wanted the same cave?
Yeah, there's like 10 caves in the tank, and they usually are on opposite ends, but I fed them zucchini, so they all came out, and then they were like, no, I want that one. And so there was a little sparring going on, which, you don't see very often because, unless you have too many males in a tank, but there's plenty of space for them. So I did get a little footage. It's not the best footage because I wasn't prepared. The glass isn't clean, but I figured it was worth putting out there so, people could see it.
Well, I'm definitely going to check it out because even though we don't encourage aggression. It does happen. It's a lot of our fish are territorial, and sometimes it gets aggressive around feeding time.
Yeah. And I
DH,
mean, they were perfectly fine. No, they didn't get hurt. No fins were damaged or anything. Even like they just
not
decided eventually that one of them was going to go sleep in that other cave.
Well, DH Aquatics says, I've been searching Aquabed for something to breed, and I have my guppies, which are doing great. Thanks, Susan. Great. And what else would be something good to try for beginners? What do you all suggest? I guess it depends on his tank setup too, right?
Right. So do you want something that readily breeds in the aquarium and you don't need to do any like egg raising, or in that case, you know, something like even like the shell dwellers that I have, you know, they'll raise their whole little colony just in their shell bed, and you don't have to do much but make sure you feed crushed flake food or some microworms to keep the babies growing. If you want to go into egg layers from guppies, I would say something like Corys or Danios breed readily in the aquarium without too much work. You know, so those can be fun. And rainbows also, but that needs a bit bigger setup.
I agree with the Corys. Anybody else?
Well, it depends on the water. Like my water is so soft, I have a hard time keeping guppies.
Okay. D?
So it always depends on where you live.
D, you got any suggestions for beginner breeders?
Well, it depends on what kind of step you want to go. Definitely, if you want to do the egg laying and do any work trying to do that. A lot of people are doing the bettas right now.
Yeah.
Kind of fun there, and they are definitely an interesting way to get into the egg laying species. I'm into trying the different types of live bears right now, so you don't have to just stick with guppies.
Yeah, I found out the corridors were easy for egg layers because I'd always had just guppies, and I thought I'd try some corridors just to try something new, and they started spawning and having fry, and I didn't do anything, and the pet store said, well, that just means they're happy, so don't fix what's not broken. Somebody answered the question about the sparrow. Somebody said something. It jumped. David Betancourt was asking the ladies if we had gotten anything new lately in our fish keeping hobby. Any new additions?
I've got new plants. I ordered some plants from Aquarium Co-op, and I got 2 tiger lotuses, some brown leaf anubias, which is a species I hadn't had prior, and a new stem plant to try out with, since I've got actual plant soil in a tank for the first time ever.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of plants lately. People have been winning contests and sending me plants and some of Priscilla's artwork. And as far as fish, I've had a 4th spawn of angels, and I've been letting them do it, you know, in a natural way. I haven't been taking the eggs out of the tank just to see what kind of parents they were going to be. And this time I actually got free swimmers before they started eating them. So the next spawn, I will remove them.
You know, I've never bred angels myself, but when I've listened to the live streams from people that do, they say, you know, if you let them do that a few times, they'll eventually raise them up the whole way. They get to a point where they don't know what they're doing. So, I mean, you could try natural a few more times. They're just young.
Yeah, this is their 4th spawn, and each spawn they did improve, and this was the furthest they got to. So if I don't want to raise a whole lot of angels, I probably will leave them in one more spawn. But Priscilla has raised angels, and I think you had to clip off the Anubias leaf and put it in a 20-gallon. Is that what you put them in?
No, I put it in a 10-gallon with metal and blue.
Uh-huh.
and let the air stone like bubble over it, and it took like 5 days, and they hatched. It's a lot of work to raise angelfish.
Yeah, there's
Like
such
it's in the end, if you get $2 for one, it's not really worth the effort if you go for the money factor of it.
yeah.
So I still have, I think I had like 80 in total, and I
Wow.
still have like 40 of them. So
Maybe I need to get a couple from you and see how they do.
yeah, they're all, I can show them to you maybe if I can move this.
Okay.
See. Ugh. So, I don't know how much of a glare there is,
Oh, wow.
but it's kind of green in there too, or brown.
They're good size.
Yeah, they're getting big. And there's a lot of plants with them.
I see your plants.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Have you bought them or been given some of them?
I bought them all, but I grew most of them just out. Like the Rotala, I only bought like 4 or 5 stems or something, and now I have like, I don't know, 100 stems.
Do you have a planted substrate or gravel?
It's fluorite.
Fluoride?
Yeah, it's pretty messy, but it's good for the plants.
Do you have to cap it?
No,
Okay.
and I made the mistake of not washing it or
Oh
rinsing it
no.
before I added it in there, so it was like cloudy for a month.
Oh boy. I've never used it before. Jennifer's laughing, so I guess she knows.
Yeah, I used it
Yeah.
in my 5-gallon boost tank, and I mean, just enough to fill a 5-gallon took like an hour to rinse out, and it still every time you did a water change would poof up a cloud of
Yeah, it took like
dust.
2 weeks for it to clear up.
Yeah, I used the Tropica plant soil this time, and I didn't even have to rinse it. It was so nice.
I have another question from Freshwater Fish Freak. I need some shrimp to go with my betta, but all I can find are ghost shrimp. What's a good source to order from? I personally would not put shrimp with my betta because most of my bettas will eat anything that's in the tank.
I've had really good luck with my betas living with other fish and shrimp in the past. I'm actually currently ordering shrimp from both FlipAquatics and LR Brett's, and those would be who I would recommend. One's imported, but he quarantines everything, so you know you're getting healthy fish shipped to you, and LR Brett's raises everything himself, so you know you're getting quality shrimp bred here in the U.S.
Yeah, I agree. Flip Aquatics, LR Brett's, and I believe Sergeant Tank has a couple strains of shrimp as well. Right off the hat, off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone else. So Freshwater Fish Freak, you can check out those 3 persons, and believe me, they are good sources. D?
Although if you haven't ever kept that beta with shrimp before, maybe buying a couple of those cheap ghost shrimp to see if he's going to eat them might not be a bad idea, because if you pay 50 cents a ghost shrimp and it's a snack, that's not as big a deal as paying $8 a shrimp and it being a snack.
I agree with that. D, you've got bettas, so do you put shrimp with your bettas?
I can't say I have tried it yet. I do have a shrimp tank, but I crashed it. Apparently you can't clean the filter and take a little bit of plant out. So I'm down to 4 or 5 shrimp. If I do get my again, I may try it out and see what happens. But from what I've gathered, it does seem to be dependent on the fish. Some people have had great luck, and some people buy some expensive snacks. So
Right.
Try
I've had aggressive bettas most of the time. I've only had one that was peaceful enough to put in a community tank, and he passed away. But the two the apricot crown tail that I have, he hates snails. He's in the tank now with 3 little guppies, and he's doing fine with them. But he'll go up and smack the snail up against the glass until the snail falls down to the substrate. His game. Anybody else see any more questions? I don't know what's going on with Bob. Would I rather be feared or loved? Both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. That's sweet. Well, you know you're loved, Bob.
Now, I've never met Bob in person, but he looks like the lovable type. He seems like that online. I don't think
Taylor
he's very
says he's
scary.
Taylor says he's a cuddle bug. Eileen Queen is here. Darcy, did you want to join us in the stream tonight? Brian's Aquatics. DPK says hi to Eileen Queen. Teresa Cookie is in the house. Let me see. David says he got a new marble angel. Congratulations, David. What tank did you put it in? With the community tank?
I hope not. Oh, you mean like with his planted tank or with his big 125 tank?
Yeah, he needs to go in his cichlid tank, doesn't it?
Right.
Because there's cichlids anyway. DPK says, if I breed my koi angel, Priscilla, I will hook you up.
I'm afraid to get more angelfish.
I haven't had angels in a few years. I had them in 120 planted with a bunch of tetras, and years ago. They're beautiful fish. I've actually thought about getting one for the 75, but I think I want to go for a more peaceful, we won't eat each other's inhabitants sort of fish.
We have a newcomer in the chat, and as soon as I find it again, Fish Obsession.
Yeah.
First time watching you ladies. Well, thank you. We want to welcome you to the live stream. She also is female. Don't know if she has any content, though. I didn't see any. Paul's Discus is in the house. Hello, Paul. DPK says, I got paradise fish with shrimp, but it depends if you raise young bettas and paradise fish with your shrimp, and then they will work. And the sad thing is about finding rescue bettas, they've been in that cup for so long that if you introduce them to anything, you know, that you don't know how old they are, you don't know how mature they are, and they've already, you know, gotten accustomed to not having anything else around them, so they become highly territorial. David says, my cichlids will kill the angel really fast, LOL. So where did you put it? I guess he's got it in the community tank with his mollies, and I don't know. He's got so many different kinds. I told him he's got so many different kinds of fish and different kinds of color that I don't know what's swimming around in that tank. Is AMA in here? Hello, Keith. Oh, Fish Obsession says she's Brian Aquatics' wife. Well, welcome. Oh, David says the angel is with the koi and sharks. The cichlids are mean. Well, you'll find out when the angel calms down that it can get mean too, as far as being territorial. And it's nice watching. What do you all think? watching a community tank and finding out, you know, they all go through a pecking order anyway. I don't know if people know that or not, but fish go through a pecking order, and I like to see who actually dominates the tank.
Yeah, I have to separate my angelfish because I bought 6 angels for my 75 and I have 3 breeding pairs now. And there's 2 of them that constantly breed back and forth that kind of like trigger each other, and the other 2 kind of take the beating. So I have to separate them.
Yeah, Keith, not Keith, but Ken, Corona Ken, sent me those long plastic plants in my 55 that he said hopefully that would help, you know, cause some out of sight, out of mind aggression going on. And it helps a little, but in my 55 I have those large gourami. I have that gold gourami opaline and then the moonlight. And the gold and the opaline, they just fuss all the time. The gold claims one end of the tank, and the opaline wants the full run of the tank. And so she'll slip over there every once in a while. And after a water change, it's hilarious to watch because they'll get into the spawning hug. It is hilarious. They're both females. And they'll get into that little wrap and that little spin going on. And then all of a sudden the gold one says, I've had enough. And she'll start chasing the opaline. And I'm like, no wonder the opaline keeps coming back because you're playing with her. But it's fun. And then my common pleco is close to 10 inches long now. And I'm still looking for a rehoming situation because I don't think I'll ever get a larger than 55 gallon because of the way my house is set up. And 55 is pretty big with my other 220s and then a 25 gallon. I've taken over the room downstairs, which used to be a guest bedroom. Does someone else want to say something?
Would your local fish store like put up a flyer for people to have big tanks that might be looking for a large giant pleco?
That was my next move. I haven't done that because I did ask them if they wanted it, and so I will be asking them if I could put up a flyer.
My common pleco is like 15 inches now.
How
my
much?
LFS 15.
15.
Yeah, my LFS will take them, but I have a hard time getting rid of them because I feel responsible.
Yeah, you get kind of attached to them too.
Right.
I love mine. She is so, I do believe it's a female. She is so animated and she really dominates the tank. Whatever she wants, she gets.
Well, the only other tank he could go in is I was planning on getting a 125 on Black Friday with the Fahaka, but the Fahaka hates everything that moves. So I don't know if the pleco would survive.
Just get it.
Plecos are pretty tough. They can handle cichlids, but I don't know about a Fahaka. That's some.
Yeah, I mean the Fahaka is only like 4 or 5 inches now, but I'm sure he could kill that pleco if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's new, Dee, in your fish room? You said you've got, what else is it behind you? Those minnows or the live bearers?
The tank right behind me, that's the sorority tank there. I don't know how many girls I got on this last batch, but it seems like almost all girls. So I've just kept them together, and like they were saying in chat, if you raise them together, they do pretty good. They're not very aggressive towards each other so far. So
good. Fish Out of the Water wants to know how many tanks I have. Right now I have 9 tanks running and 2 tubs on my front porch that house 4 goldfish, common goldfish. And I mainly keep guppies, but I also have corridoras and gouramis and angelfish and that one pleco. And I have 2 bettas.
Let's go look. Maybe we can take a look at the pleco.
Okay.
But I turned my camera off for a second because I'm walking through the house and it's a little bit of a chaos.
It's like I cleaned my house last week. I'm sorry you missed it.
Yeah, it's like living with a toddler.
Yes. Stuff everywhere.
There we go. He is right back there. Is there a glare?
Yes, a little glare, but I did catch a glimpse of him.
Ah, of course, the angelfish.
Yeah, the angelfish wants the center.
They're always hungry. Yeah, these two are a breeding pair. She's the female. That's the male. Then here, that's the female, the male. Then here, that's a female and a male.
Interesting.
And they're all breeding pairs. And these two fight a lot. And the pleco, he's kind of skittish, so he kind of always hides back there behind the plant.
Is it a chocolate color?
No, he's black. It's a common pleco.
Okay.
And there's the little guy.
Hey. His name is Xavier.
Yeah, he's a little angry.
He wants mommy. Hi, Xavier. TPK says, yep, I noticed that in my 55 long.
Come here. Hey, come here.
Says the pleco will survive. DPK says, but I added 2 young parrot cichlids in with my angels, Benzus, Bolivian ram, algae eater, and mystery snail. So far, so good. That's great. David says the list of species I have is crazy for 3 running tanks. I'm addicted to buying fish, especially when I'm stressed. That's why I don't go to the fish store very often, because I want to bring something home.
I resemble that comment. I tend to shop when stressed out, and my current dilemma is that I can shop from my computer, so I don't even have to leave the house.
That's too funny. Well, I don't see any questions posted towards us. We've got 5 more minutes, guys, so come on with these questions. While I have the time, I wanted to thank Dee, and I want to thank Jennifer and Priscilla for joining the panel tonight. It's been exciting. It's been a while since we got together. You know, the girls, you know, we rule anyway, so you guys just need to unwind and chill and listen to our expertise. But I like, if anybody has not seen this, Racing's Natural Aquariums did his Friday shout outs today. And, you know, I humbly say that he mentioned me in the last part of the shout out, but the part that I'm talking about is the all girls live stream that he said that, you know, I came up with. But I have to give honor to Jeremy at Sergeant Tanks, because we were in one of his chats one night, and he said, y'all ought to have an all girls live stream. And so enough of us chimed in and said, well, sure, you know, that would be something interesting. So as far as giving credit to where credit is due, I wanted to give Jeremy credit for bringing up the idea. Yeah, Priscilla and Kayla and I myself have attempted to do a few streams, and you know, we appreciate those that do and carry on. I don't know if y'all know, but is it Google Plus, Priscilla, where I have the community
I think it's Facebook, isn't it?
Huh?
I think it's on Facebook.
The community for the Fish Fam ladies, I believe, is on Google Plus, I think, or yeah, or Instagram. I don't know.
No, I think it's Google Plus. I just never use it.
Yeah, I don't.
Bad about that.
Yeah, I don't put much there. Every once in a while, I even forgot to put this live stream there, but I'll share the video there. But it's an impromptu thing. I wanted to let everybody know we don't have a regular schedule for the all ladies stream. And this being an evening one, the next one that I do will probably be in the new year unless something pops up for us at close to Christmas. I know we're all busy with our families, especially those that have little ones in the house. And I want you all to just check out Dee's channel down the wormhole and Jennifer's channel. I got to see your name to pronounce it.
It's Jennifer and then the letter J, Saraceno.
Saraceno. Jennifer Saraceno and Priscilla MK Art. Y'all know her. And check out Priscilla's eBay, not eBay, but Etsy store as well, and order those pictures for your fish rooms and get them all on the wall, because I bought my frames today, Priscilla, and I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'm going to hang them on my wall over here, so I'm going to have to move my camera around. I probably need to buy a 360 camera. But I'm excited about putting
how many frames did you get?
I got the 3 8x10s and the 1 4x6. That's the prints that you sent me.
Yeah, I don't remember. I switched my job. My son went to school, and I work today like 6 a.m. to 2:30. So I'm pretty out of it myself.
So you started a different job?
Yep, I work now at a big retailer store that has like a red bullseye as a logo.
Called Target. I guess.
Yes.
That's a dangerous store. I walk in there and somehow I lose $200.
Yeah, it's magical.
That's why I quit going to the W one.
Yeah, but I start at 6 in the morning, so I usually get up at like 4:45.
Bless your heart.
It's early.
Dee, what is your little girl's name? I forget.
Eva.
Say it again.
Eva.
Eva. She is a stinker. I just love her on your videos, doing your talkovers and voiceovers, and it is just precious to hear her in your videos.
Oh, if I don't want her in the video, I have to do it when she's in bed. If she even sees me move the computer near the speaker, she's up on the stool ready to go. Let's do this now, Mom.
That's awesome. The future fish keeper and the future YouTuber. And Jennifer, I see you've got a couple kitties. Or is it one kitty cat?
I have one cat and a bird and then the fish.
What kind of bird do you have?
He's a conure, which is a small parrot, a little bit smaller than a cockatiel, but bigger than a parakeet.
Okay. And we missed Katie tonight. She was really looking forward to joining us. Jeremy's wife, Katie DeRuse from Sergeant Tanks. And we know that she's gotten her beautiful birds lately, and they've just been her de-stressor. They are the friendliest birds I've seen. I've been around birds. Some of them can be a little nippy and squawky and everything. Who was it that took on a whole bunch of parakeets recently?
That would be our house. It is a very noisy house now, I must say. 10 budgies, 2 cockatiels.
How many? How many?
10 budgies and 2 cockatiels. They've all been gifted to us. Cockatiels are quite old, but he says a few words to me now and again.
Well, when you did that video of all those birds, I was like, She's not going to have a quiet moment.
No, there's nothing going on downstairs anymore.
But ladies, thank you so much for this beautiful live stream. We hope that we've helped you guys out. We thank you all for being with us tonight in the chat. And we wish you to keep your sleeves wet, your fish fed, and stay happy. This is
Thank you.
for SLC Aquatics signing off. We love you. Ladies, don't go anywhere.